Hello, I'm Dr. Tara Palmatier of shrinkformen.com. If you have a question or would like to schedule a session with me, you can reach me at shrinkformen@gmail.com. The title of this video is How Narcissists and Borderlines Twist and Use Words Against You. It is somewhat related to a video I posted, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, translating crazy. I actually wrote this article before that one, sort of set the groundwork for that. So here we go. Communicating with narcissists. Why do we bother? I'm exhausted just thinking about it. Between their penchant for tossing a word salad, pathological lying, broken promises, deliberate provocations, pretzel twisting words, putting words in your mouth that were never there, it's both pointless and exhausting. Unless, of course, the narcissist or borderline is making your divorce or custody case arguments by kindly documenting their crazy for you, in which case there is some value in communicating, but only if you've got your emotions in check and know how to practice BIFF communication, which stands for brief, informative, firm. The second F is friendly, but I think that leads to boundary violation. So instead of friendly, I recommend business civil. And only if you've broken your JADE habit. And JADE stands for justifying, arguing, defending, and explaining yourself. I've addressed that in numerous other videos and articles, particularly in the Narcissist Fight Club series, which I'm still working on. I think we're only at 6. And anyhow, it's important to be deliberate and precise with the words we use. Contrary to what a lot of people in our culture currently believe, words actually have meanings, distinct ones. Yes, they do. It's how we facilitate comprehension and avoid misunderstandings. It's how we negotiate getting our wants and needs met. It's how we share ideas, teach, and counsel others. An instant credibility breaker for me is when someone, say a visitor to the Shrink for Men Facebook page, posts a false or just plain wrong statement about me, my work, and things they allege I have said. And then when challenged, specifically, I never said that, you're putting words in my mouth, the individual becomes indignant and accuses me of splitting hairs over their use of words, which was an instance of them claiming I said things I never said. Yeah. How many people watching this have had a narcissistic or borderline partner, ex, or parent snap at you? I know what I said, but it's not what I meant. When you call them on their BS. That's pretty common. Okay, now I want to talk about translating crazy. Again, that was a video I did a couple weeks ago. Everyone uses words to communicate, including narcissists, psychopaths, and borderlines. However, narcissists et al. Frequently use words differently than your normal neurotic. In other words, non-disordered people. Not all narcissists, psychopaths, and borderlines do the following things all of the time, but enough of them do them often enough, which is why we write books and articles about these topics using generalizations. In my personal and clinical observations, there are 5 primary differences in how narcissists and other immature and unstable personalities communicate. 1. When narcissists and other abusers engage in linguistic communication, the words and phrases they use often don't mean what you think they mean. And that is if you are going by the word's definition in, say, the Oxford or Merriam-Webster's dictionary. So when communicating with or trying to mediate a dispute with a narcissist or borderline, it is vitally important to understand what the words they're using mean to them versus how they're defined by an official dictionary. Always ask for clarification. For example, you can ask, what do you mean by unfair? Or, how am I being mean? Or, how am I trying to control you? And by the way, when a narcissist accuses you of being mean, it usually means you're holding them accountable. And when they accuse you of trying to control them, it usually means you're exercising and enforcing healthy boundaries. And when they accuse you of being unfair, it usually means you're not giving them special treatment or special privileges that they certainly did not earn or deserve. So if they become angry when you ask for clarification, one guess as to why that is. If you catch them contradicting themselves when you ask for clarification, call them on it and note their response. Do they tell more lies, play victim, become angry? It's up to you whether you wish to persist or accept that this person is bullshitting you. If you accept the person is bullshitting you, then ask yourself if you want to be in a relationship with someone who is neither willing nor capable of being straight with you. 2, they do superficial hyperbole, not depth. I have also discussed this in many articles and videos. The personality disordered are intense and often highly emotionally charged. And you think that means that they are deep, complex people, but it's not. It's all very superficial and shallow, okay? So narcissists and borderlines often seem emotionally intense, but their emotions are, in fact, shallow. You're confusing pathology with passion and intensity for intimacy. This is why they can climb the highest mountaintop on Monday, declaring their undying love for you for all the world to hear, and be posting selfies with their newest soulmate on Thursday morning as you look at their Facebook page, slack-jawed, head spinning. You weren't their soulmate, and they didn't love you. Not in the adult sense of the word. The narcissist or borderline was high on the conquest of seducing you into loving them. Very different from loving you and valuing you and appreciating you. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. The narcissist or borderline was high on the conquest of seducing you into loving them. After that, it's all downhill to devaluation station and the discard landfill. Again, ask for clarification when someone throws around words like love, soulmate, and never felt this way before very early on in a relationship. That's love bombing, and it ain't love. 3, their words are fleetingly temporal and audience dependent, meaning their words have an expiration date, like milk or, I don't know, yogurt. For example, they cease to have any meaning as soon as they get whatever it is they're trying to manipulate and exploit from you. Furthermore, details and narratives change depending upon who the narcissist or borderline's target audience is. I used to observe my narcissistic ex do this when he was trying to pitch his consulting or public speaking services. It was remarkable how he'd tailor his pitch to potential clients. You know, that's not so uncommon in business. Again, I marveled at how he tailored his professed values and beliefs to prospective clients. Okay, that's different from the actual services he would provide. He would change his values and so-called beliefs based on whomever his audience was. Here's the thing about values. They're usually consistent over time. They don't change based upon who you're talking to at any given moment. People of integrity do not morph their values to con others, okay? But narcissists and borderlines often do. They are chameleon-like, shapeshifters. They will be whomever they need you to be in the moment to achieve whatever it is they are trying to achieve. I also saw my ex do this with our friends and his family. Even when he was retelling the same story to our social circle, which he did repeatedly, I was able to track the tweaks and embellishments. Here's the thing about the truth, not your truth or his truth or her truth. The truth doesn't evolve or require embroidery. It is steadfast and unchangeable. 4, they lie to survive and sometimes for just plain fun. Narcissists and other abusive personalities are typically habitual and pathological liars. They lie to avoid consequences for their bad and sometimes criminal behavior. They lie to seduce. They lie to recruit flying monkeys, negative advocates, cheerleaders, and minions. They lie to feel important and superior. They lie to get what they want. They lie to hurt and punish their targets of blame. Oftentimes, they lie simply because they enjoy it. Duping delight is the, and I quote, near irresistible thrill some people feel in taking a risk and getting away with it. Sometimes it includes contempt for the target who is being so ruthlessly and successfully exploited. It is hard to contain duping delight. Those who feel it want to share their accomplishments with others, seeking admiration for their exploits. End of quote. It's from Paul Ekman's book, 2009. Now, distinguishing fact from fiction with these individuals can be challenging. When in doubt, pay attention to their behavior, not their words. You will usually find the truth in that. 5, narcissists don't listen to, they listen for. What do I mean by listening for? Well, rather than listening to others in an effort to understand, show interest, caring, and concern, to foster empathy and or to try to equitably resolve conflict, narcissists and borderlines listen for information. Specifically, information to weaponize and help them to better manipulate, control, and exploit you. They listen for many things, but they're not really listening to you. They don't care how you feel or what you think unless it somehow impacts them. So what are they listening for? All about me. Whether it's spoken or written communication, narcissists and borderlines are listening for whether or not what you're saying is about them or affects them in some way. When they ask, "How was your day?" they don't really care. If you take them at face value and actually respond with details of your day, they often become angry and irritated and accuse you of only caring about work or impatiently tell you to get to the point. Asking about you is a perfunctory prelude to doing what they really want to do, namely, talk at you about themselves, their feelings, their grievances, and the people who are victimizing them. In other words, not kissing their butt, not appreciating their genius, generosity, and selflessness, or holding them accountable and or people who see through them. They're listening for indicators that you have friends who admire and like you. Those people will need to be eliminated. The narcissist can't have you believing you're a good, competent person. Their control and ownership of you is dependent upon you believing that you're rubbish and that you're lucky the narcissist or borderline puts up with you. They're listening for any potential threats to their control and possession of you. Just because they hold you in contempt doesn't mean they want anyone else to have you until they decide they're done with you. And that's another reason not to bother writing voluminous JADE emails and letters. Odds are your emails aren't being read and absorbed anyway. Instead, the narcissist mines those communications in order to weaponize and exploit them in the future. Remember, they don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your feelings. They do not care about your feelings. They don't care about the truth or objective reality. Narcissists and borderlines care about their truth, which is usually at odds with the truth. Twist and attack. These individuals will often listen for trigger words. Narcissists and other high conflict people are grievance gatherers extraordinaire. They enjoy feeling outraged, offended, and aggrieved. That way they get to be the victim. And then they use it to justify their rages at and abuses of others. Simply put, these individuals enjoy conflict. And the attacks can be multi-purpose. They can be used to guilt trip you, exploit money, time, or material goods. They're employed to make you look bad or smear you to others, to feel superior, or just to get their jollies from seeing you scamper about trying to soothe, please, and appease them. I can't be the only one who's noticed that being triggered is often an excuse for unreasonable, toxic behavior by the triggered person that actually infringes upon the rights of others. Am I the only one? Anyone? Okay. For example, I always, and I mean always, advise divorcing clients with kids to adopt a parallel parenting approach and low contact model of communication. In case you don't know, parallel parenting means you parent around and in spite of the other parent. You don't share what goes on during your custody time unless it's a medical or other serious issue, and you don't ask about what goes on in the narcissist or borderline's home. This includes offering advice or letting them know how well the kids are doing with you. Two very common rookie mistakes. If you're making them and wondering why you're getting so much crap in return, stop offering advice and stop sharing how great the kids are doing in your care. That's going to set the narcissist or borderline parent off, okay? Because if the kids love you, then they perceive it as a lack of love for them, which is a whole separate video. Okay, so here's an example of a common mistake. Client, hey, just want to let you know I've had tremendous success with son not using the pacifier. Here's how I'm handling it. NPD or BPD spouse. Ex-spouse, excuse me. Stop telling me I'm a bad mom. What makes you think you know what I'm doing? You have no idea about everything I do. You're just a bleeping deadbeat Disney dad. Who the bleep do you think you are telling me how to parent my son? Client, I'm not telling you what to do or criticizing you. Remember the dentist said to wean him off the pacifier, and I just wanted to share something I'm doing that's been working. NPD, BPD, X. Who the hell do you think took son to all of his doctor's appointments before you abandoned us? Do you think I'm stupid? You're just writing this to make yourself look good for court. Don't think I don't know what you're doing. You can't abuse me anymore. You don't control me anymore. I'm calling my attorney. Client typing. Hi, Dr. T. Do you have time to talk today? Now, I know you've experienced it, right? Okay, so do you see where the facsimile of many of my clients went wrong in that exchange? To a narcissist or borderline, suggestions and advice are trigger words. They perceive advice, no matter how diplomatically and full of compliments to help them feel good about themselves, you may deliver the advice, they perceive it as criticism. Two reasonably mature co-parents could have a discussion about eradicating pacifier use. With a narcissist or other emotionally immature and unstable person, you'd be better off popping a pacifier in their mouth instead of trying to have an adult conversation with them about ending your actual child's use of a pacifier. Okay. The other thing that they're listening for is how to better manipulate you, my dear. Narcissists, psychopaths, and borderlines listen for information that will enable them to manipulate and exploit you. This is especially true in the early love bombing stage of the relationship when they lavish you with laser-focused attention. They want to know your hopes, dreams, fears, regrets, painful childhood experiences, family history, relationship history, and any and all vulnerabilities. Initially, it's useful information for the seduction in order to appeal to your ego and persuade you that you're soulmates. Inevitably, all the information you share will be used against you. With their intimate insider knowledge of you, they'll go from building you up to tearing you down. They'll use your past to dismiss any complaints about their behavior in the present and future. For example, "This has nothing to do with me. This is about your mother and father issues. Get help." And in a way, they actually do have a point when they say that, because it's probably because of your unresolved childhood issues that attracted you to a narcissist or borderline in the first place. But, what's the expression? Right church, wrong pew. I don't know. Maybe that's not it. Not a church person. Sorry, Lucy, that was me. No one's at the door. No one's at the door. They also use this information to undermine your confidence and self-worth and to cause you to second guess and doubt your own sense of knowing. When you jade, you just give them more information to weaponize against you. This is one of the reasons competent mental health professionals recommend no contact or low contact if there are minor children after ending one of these relationships. No contact isn't to punish the narcissist or the borderline. It's about no longer giving them the means to hurt, confuse, and manipulate you. It's also about giving yourself the time and physical and emotional distance to grieve and to begin seeing and thinking clearly again, or perhaps for the first time. Or, as I like to say, feed a fever, starve a psycho. Again, I'm Dr. Tara Palmatier of shrinkformen.com. If you have a question or would like to schedule a session with me, you can reach me at shrinkformen@gmail.com. Thank you for watching and have a good day.